good afternoon and thank you for staying tuned. You're watching the news at 5 p.m. I'm Shah joining you live on the broadcast. And the breaking inputs that are just coming in of Home Minister Amit Shah raising the issue of attack on Hindus and how temples were vandalized in Bangladesh. This was in a bilateral meet with the Bangladesh Home Minister. He went on to say that India will not accept any sort of attacks on Hindus or temples in Bangladesh, and that the Bangladeshi government should act immediately. Executive Editor Politics Aishwarya Kapoor with us on the phone line. Aishwarya, give us details of what Amit Shah has said to the Bangladesh Home Minister. Aishwarya, not too sure if you can hear me, but Amit Shah raising the attacks on Hindus and how temples were vandalized in Bangladesh, making it very clear that India will not tolerate this, and most importantly, the Bangladesh government that must come down heavily on such incidents. All right, not too sure if that line is connected. We'll try and reconnect that line with Aishwarya Kapoor. But remember, this is a very strong message going on from India to Bangladesh when it comes to the recent incidents that had come to light of attacks on Hindus and how temples were vandalized. These incidents that had completely gone out of hand, and most importantly, Home Minister Amit Shah saying that India will not accept this. Also saying that the Bangladesh government must come down heavily on such incidents. Aishwarya, I believe, is back with us on the phone line. Aishwarya, details of what Amit Shah has said.
Well, absolutely, Swesha. At this point of time, we are being told that in a bilateral meeting alongside the conference, Indian Home Minister Amit Shah has made it amply clear to his Bangladeshi counterpart that India cannot accept under any circumstance the attacks on Hindus and also their religious spots, the temples in Bangladesh, which we've seen that the attacks have increased by many folds in the last year and then around 13 to 14 months. And it has been clearly communicated in this bilateral meet that if any assistance
is required, India is ready to provide to Bangladesh, but under no circumstance can India be in a wait-and-watch mode and see attacks on Hindus and then temples being rampantly and openly taking place in Bangladesh. And it was a bilateral meeting in which the Indian Home Minister has not only raised his concern but has also offered his assistance that in any capacity, if the Bangladeshi counterpart and if the Bangladeshi government feels that if the Indian government can help them to prevent this from happening, they are more than happy to do so. But they cannot allow, and they have urged the Bangladeshi Home Minister and the Bangladeshi government that this cannot be allowed. Under any circumstance, we've seen in the last 13 to 14 months, more than 50 such attacks on Hindu temples have taken place in Bangladesh itself and in different regions. And hence, in this bilateral meet, Home Minister Amit Shah has made it amply clear to his Bangladeshi counterpart. Back to you, Swesha.
Absolutely, Aishwarya, they're getting us details of what the Home Minister has said in Bangladesh. But Aishwarya, we continue our focus on this because this is coming very, very importantly after the incidents that had broken out in Bangladesh of the attacks on Hindus and how temples were vandalized, and most importantly, intent of the government when it comes to Hindutva or saving the integrity of Hindus. So, Home Minister Amit Shah putting out that message very, very
attacks
clearly,
on minorities
no
in
words
Bangladesh.
there, and important
Absolutely.
to now see how Bangladesh will react.
Well, absolutely. Attacks on ethnic minorities in Bangladesh, and to be very specific, on Hindus and temples is something which has been raised earlier as well. But it has been raised in an unequivocal way this time around in this bilateral between the Indian Home Minister and then his Bangladeshi counterpart, because a steep increase, Swesha, in the attacks on temples, that is religious places of the minorities in Bangladesh. And keeping in mind that the Bangladeshi president, the head of state in Bangladesh, had promised to the Indian government in her last visit, which was just few months prior, that action is going to be taken. But even after that, there have been series of attacks. Hence, this time around, India has not only raised a concern, but has also urged that strictest possible action should be taken, and that too immediately. And plus Plus, the Indian government has said that if at all the Bangladeshi government feels that they require any kind of assistance, whether on input, whether on ground, wherever. However, the government of India will be more than happy to assist, but this needs to cease. The attacks on Hindus and then temples need to cease in Bangladesh, and that government of India has made it clear unequivocally, stating that this cannot be allowed. And hence, in this bilateral meet, the Home Minister has stated that whatever is required, you do. But you stop these attacks on temples and then on minorities in Bangladesh. Swesha.
All right, Aishwarya, many thanks for getting us these details. And of course, we continue to track the story very closely. For the moment, we move on.